hooked the camera up to a tripod and I got these moon shots. You can see the craters. These are just some outside pictures. The picture right here was taken in my garage with the lights off and the flash on. Some more outside pictures. These are pretty detailed pictures. They look pretty decent. And this right here is Panorama. And you have a couple different Panorama settings. There's two settings. You can take a big Panorama or a much smaller Panorama. When you zoom in with the Panoramas, it's not all that detailed. It loses a lot of detail in the photos. Now this video right here is a 4K video taken at 30 frames. Including this video, 4K, 30 frames. "4K, 30 frames." Now this was taken with the zoom. It has a really good zoom on this camera. It's 35x. So it zooms out really far and it looks very detailed. This is with the camera flipped over at 4K. Now going into a darker spot like this in here in my garage is much darker than out there. So this is kind of what you'd see in the darker scenario, and that's what it kind of looks like. I stand right here. This has half light, half dark. So that's what using it like a blog camera would look like at 4K. Now this camera does not allow you to record unlimited video. It has a limit of how long you will record video for each resolution setting. So for instance, let's take 4K. You can only record 4K video for so long, and then the camera is going to turn off. It's not going to allow you to record video for unlimited. The reason for that is the camera overheats. I recorded a bunch of 4K video and I let it record till it ran out and the camera was completely hot. So I will go ahead down below in the description. I'll put all the recording times for each resolution. So this is at 1080p, 60 frames. And we'll just walk around. So at 1080p, this is what it looks like in a darker scenario. With no light, but a little bit of light, and that's what it looks like. There's some light and a little bit of light. That's what the 1080p looks like at 60 frames. Now again, this is 4K at 30 frames. Now this is the time-lapse mode. You can actually make it go much faster in the settings. Now this is the slow-mo at 480p 120. And that's the only setting for the slow-mo. So if we turn the camera on, that's what that does there. It'll shoot the lens out like all digital cameras do. Now if we go over here into the settings, you'll see that it has all these camera modes. Make sure that's zoomed in good. Okay. It has all these different camera modes. You can take a couple different panorama sizes with this. So that's kind of the camera features. There's some other stuff here in the menus. I don't know too much about this. This is one of the first digital cameras I've owned. So I don't know too much about these settings here. But you got your Wi-Fi and you got your Bluetooth. Now, if we go over here, we go to video camera, we can look at all the different video resolutions. And we have 4K there at the top, 1080p 30 frames, and then 1080p is the highest for 60 frames. Now, go back. Now, if you look right down here in the yellow, it shoots slow-mo. It appears that it has slow-mo, but as you can tell, it's only going to shoot it at 480. It's really not all that, you know, it looks good if you got a lot of light and you're in the outside and you're shooting slow-mo. I mean, it works, but it's not really all that slow. You can tell right there that's only going to be at 120 frames. That's not like, you know, my iPhone shoots better slow-mo, and it's a phone. So yeah, and then 1080p time-lapse.
The time-lapse is not bad. There's a bunch of features in there you can change for the time-lapse to make it go faster. And then there's so many different settings. There's settings in here so you can change it. Kind of gives you like filters, effects. In here you can change the exposure. When you're taking a picture, you got full exposure. There's so many different camera settings. I just don't know about all this, like what some of these are. But it seems to have a lot of features, this camera. This is video mode if you go to playback. On the camera. There's shutter speeds, and I mean there's so much stuff within here. So yeah, that's kind of basically the settings that are in this camera here. I would say that, I mean, it's not a bad camera. I'm sure, I mean, there's way better cameras out there, but at the price, it does shoot 4K. And it does have, you know, quite a bit of features on it. The screen can tilt. I mean, it's not a bad camera. Now, if you're looking for an unboxing video of this, I did part 1 of this video. That will be down in the link below in the description of this video. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Peace.